go into it, but I've been through trauma myself. I get how it feels. It's not the same situation, but I get how traumatic experience feels. But I'm not going... It's not property, though. It's my life or theirs. But there's this indirect defense of criminals these days, and that's what I saw from this guy. I had to tell him, if my property gets taken, that's one thing, but I'm not going to have somebody come in and kill me, potentially kill me. Oh, you don't know that. Why take the chance? Same thing with the Robert Foster. Why take the fucking chance? That's the point of having the Second Amendment. Aside from the right to bear arms and protect from tyranny, criminals and terrorists are a form of tyranny. It's not literally tyranny, but they're trying to impose things upon you that are unjust. Stealing your property without any validity to it. Now, I'm not saying criminals and terrorists are tyrants or anything like that. I mean, these are different secular philosophies. I'm alluding it. So I'm not saying it is tyranny. I'm alluding it as kind of like tyranny. So don't think like I'm going to, pull a 180 or anything. It's like Trump's Hitler or things like that. No, it's just that sensation you get from it. Basically, but facts and feelings are two different things. So, but it's just that feeling you get basically from that. But again, it's not always about property. Property plays a value in it, but it's also saving your life or anybody else who's there. That's what it boils down to. Property rights. Your property is your property. And hopefully you don't have to kill anybody over your property. Hopefully you don't have to kill anybody to protect yourself or your loved ones. Hopefully it never comes to that. Because that would be traumatizing too if you couldn't handle it. I've never killed anybody before, shot anybody before. I pulled a gun on somebody trying to rob my vehicle once, but fortunately I didn't have to shoot him. And I was scared. I was really scared. But beyond that, though, I'm not going to... If there's something I can do about it, I'll do it. And it's kind of funny, too, because it's like the Area 51 meme that's going around. Well, they're not going to be able to take us all out and everything. I wouldn't be so sure. I didn't think anything was going to come of it. I found it a great joke, though, and I loved all the memes. But this is what I'm talking about, though. It's selective as to when you can defend yourself and when you can't defend yourself with these fucking nutcases. And they just want to feel morally superior because they feel that they care more about life than conservatives do, which is total bullshit. We care about his life as much as they do, but we care about it for the right reasons, from what I can tell. I'm not saying all left people feel that way. This is, again, exaggeration, but from what I gather a lot of times online, I really don't think people have their priorities and straight. Whether it be liberal or conservative, so many people are so black and white about things and get easily triggered and offended, as they say, about things, whether it's left or right. I've started to just pick up on certain patterns, and this is the reason why I have fun. But yeah, check out that comment section. It's incredibly funny. And just astonishing, the posts they make on that. Last but not least, as all of us know, 69-year-old Willem van Spronsen, sent a manifesto to friends, claimed he was Antifa, murdered himself to Antifa. Went to an ICE detention center in Tacoma, Washington, and went basically through IEDs, possibly Molotovs, tried to set a propane tank on fire, because apparently these detention centers are concentration camps. Oh yeah. They're drinking out of toilet water, they're not getting fed, they're not being able to get hygiene, blah, blah, blah. I agree that things at the border could be a lot better. Prison system even needs a lot of reform too. If you're able to get a second chance or something like that and you're willing to do it, you need to be started off on the right foot in certain cases. For major offenses and things like that, I mean, you've got your thing to do. But for minor incidents, I mean, for some people who get sent to jail or to prison for ridiculous, I mean, well, I don't want to say ridiculous, but just more so for things that don't really you shouldn't go to prison for minor offenses. Which, I mean, you need to learn your lesson. You got to pay the price. Regardless of what you do, you break the law, you got to pay the price. The penalty for it, though, getting something heavy for something minor, which can sometimes happen, I mean, it's disturbing. Some people really do want to reform. Other people just are doomed, and they'll continue on. There needs to be better psychological evaluation and things of that nature to see if people are deemed fit for society. But apparently, being sent in there and doing your time is supposed to teach you a lesson. Sometimes it just aggravates people and it fears people, because when you get out, sometimes the family wants nothing left to do with you and everything. But again, that's a hefty price you pay for a crime you commit, if it's validated for it, though. But regardless of that, it's not a fucking concentration camp. It really, really is not a concentration camp. You know, there's a difference between persecuting a religion because mommy sadly didn't get saved by a doctor and you had your artwork made fun of. That's completely different than trying to cross into a country illegally and bringing your fucking children who die along the way because you know what's going to happen because you're hardly eating, more than likely. You're not able to stay hydrated well enough. And children need to stay hydrated and stay nourished. But if you're not doing that, of course they're going to die if you take them a long distance without adequate nourishment and hydration. It's like everybody's like shocked at this. Everybody in the media is like fucking shocked at all of this. Oh my God, a kid died on a long trek. Well, gee, did they bring food or water? Is that our fault they didn't bring food or water? Oh, of course it is, because we didn't let them in. You know, but it's like, but their country's not taking care of them. Their country isn't taking care of them. Yes, of course the people want to come here. This is one of the best countries, if not the best country in the world. People have different opinions about that, but honestly, I'd rather live here than anywhere else right now. We have a constitution that protects us from talking shit against the government, as long as we're not threatening. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, but, you know, for now, I love it. But anyway, everybody's just acting so shocked. Oh my God, if you make a long travel and you're not eating or drinking, you die? Holy cow, this is all Trump's fault. This is all America's fault. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. This is a detention center. This is not the plaza, okay? The conditions are better than they were around the time when Obama was deporting a lot, but these detention centers are not meant to be these like wonderlands or anything. You get sent to jail or prison or anything like for doing something illegal and whatnot, it's not going to be it's livable conditions, but they're not going to be ideal. You're not going to be rewarded for committing a crime. That's the point. I feel terrible for the kids that have to endure this. I feel absolutely terrible. But that doesn't mean that we can just throw away our border policy. That doesn't give an excuse for that. It's the parents' fault for doing this. Oh, children being separated by borders. At the borders, everything. One, they shouldn't have been brought with them, because then, of course, like we were mentioning, they run the risk of dying of disease, hunger, starvation, lack of water, etc. And then second of all, you commit a crime, you're going to get separated from your fucking family. Even in America, it happens too. You can't be rewarded for committing crimes. And a detention center is not meant to be a reward for being deported. It's meant to be a layover until you're sent back. That's what it is. Now, you shouldn't be treated like an animal or anything of that nature, true. But these are just accusations. People just want to say this to stir and rile things up. But regardless of it, these aren't pleasure cruises or pleasure hotels. But it's not to where you're being forced into cheap labor or anything of that nature. You're staying over until you're sent back. You're not being forced to run in circles. You're not being shot for not working. You're not being shot for your ideals or your heritage or your religion or anything of that nature. You just committed a crime and you're being sent back. Would it be better if we lined people up and shot them for that? Would it be better? I don't think so. But, is this what it has to come to? I'm not saying, let me clarify. I'm not saying I want that to, and I'm not hinting that. I'm sarcastically stating, is this what really should happen to basically make them become concentration camps so all the Democrats can point their fingers and be like, see, I told you so. That's what I'm getting at. But no, of course nobody wants that. That's insane. So, obviously, the irony of it is that this guy was trying to literally light a propane tank on fire. It could have spread and hurt people criminals, true, but it could have hurt people in there. The people he was standing for. He could have hurt people outside of ICE agents. He could have hurt people that he claims to have been supporting and standing up for in the right. That's sad. That's really, really sad. I don't think he really thought it through well enough. But he's still a martyr now. He's still heralded by Antifa. Even though they almost killed illegal immigrants, which they defend. Even though he ran the risk of that. And he sucked at it too. He got shot down. He couldn't even kill anybody. He just got shot down before he could even really do anything. Before he could kill the evil ICE Nazis. He gets shot down. So as a result of that, that's why I'm saying, yeah, okay, so I haven't really heard of any cases of Antifa actually killing anybody, but they suck bad at it when they try to. I'll tell you that they really, really suck at it. And they almost kill people that they're protecting. That's the other sad part about it. I mean, there's plenty of coverage and videos, but this is just my 2 cents on it, and just alluding to what I spoke to before. Really, is catching a beating better than getting killed? You're still alive, I'll give it that, but it shouldn't be happening over different opinions, but it does, and it's going to continue until somebody puts their foot down, but nobody will. Nobody's going to do anything. That's why all we can do is just rant and complain and bitch and whine and moan. But nobody's going to give a shit or do anything about it. We're just going to be doomed for that unless Congress can completely dissolve the entire group of Antifa. Just so that way other groups like Proud Boys don't have to exist anymore. Other groups like Patriot Prayer doesn't have to exist anymore. I mean, you can still protest and everything, but a lot of times when these right-leaning groups, form outside of neo-Nazism, which is rare in this country, it exists, but it's rare. These groups basically formulate against radical groups like Antifa, and if any of them got dissolved, like I guarantee, if Antifa were dissolved, Patriot Prayer and Proud Boys would step down. Because Antifa practically created them like crime created Batman, if you want to allude. I'll be a geek and allude, to that. But I guarantee that if Patriot Prayer Proud Boys stood down, Antifa's going to be around still. They're not going to stand down. They're going to take it as a victory, and they're going to keep going. And I'm not saying every Proud Boy or Patriot Prayer person would stay down. There might be some fanatical people in that group, even beyond just simply defending, their own ideals. And yes, some of them are violent. I agree there. But I'm talking more in the sense of going as far as to harming people first, just for looking at them wrong or knowing they're part of something. They wait until it occurs for a majority of the time. And you have to go by statistics in cases like that sometimes. I'm going to end basically this video. I'm going to end this video by basically stating or mentioning quickly, Donald Trump's tweet basically about the progressive congresswomen and, go back to the countries and fix them and everything. I can't believe people think that's racist. Really, telling somebody to go back to their country to fix it and help them out is racist? Holy shit. I mean, if he said, whites are superior in America and all blacks should be kicked out or something, that's fucking racist. Because you're being superior over another race there. That's racism, is feeling you're superior, for your race is superior to another race. When you say, like, all Asians are good at math, that's a stereotype. That's not racism, that's a stereotype. There's a big difference between being racist and being stereotypical. Both are considered offensive, which I understand. I like stereotypes more because they can be humorous. Everybody's got different types of senses of humor. We're all a little racist, but more so in a prejudiced sense. But big difference between racism and stereotypes. And that's something that people just don't fucking get. Trump wasn't being racist when he posted this tweet. He was being sincere in stating, look, if you've got these great ideas, fix your own countries and then come back and share what you've learned. It's never going to happen, but fuck. They might pick up on something and could teach us, possibly. As long as it doesn't create the downfall of Western society, which God knows how long that's going to take now. So, I mean, it's astonishing. It really is. How the hell is this racist? He's not saying white people are greater than black people. He's not saying white people are greater than Hispanic and vice versa. He's just basically stating, that we are the greatest nation on this earth and how a government should be run. It's not perfect, though. I'm going to add that in there. It's not perfect. There's a few things I wish were different. I wish he would get healthcare reform kicking and stop dicking around on it. I wish that he wouldn't go after bump stocks and suppressors. But, I mean, I'm not going to, throw him under the bus for that. And I'm going to stake a jab. I'm not going to throw him under the bus like a libertarian. Libertarian ideals on the Second Amendment are very hardcore. I think they're even more hardcore than conservative ideals. I do agree that we've given too much of the pie away for it, but I'm not going to just throw somebody completely under the bus just because of things like that. There's other policies that I stand behind. And the other thing is worst comes to worst, you got to settle for what you have. And initially I was settling for Trump because I didn't want Clinton. But then all of a sudden I see Trump was doing all right. And no, I don't think he's the greatest president, but he sure as hell isn't the worst. There are far worse presidents than Trump. I don't think Obama was the worst president, but he sure as hell isn't the best. And he sure as hell didn't deserve the praise he got. Nothing really changed when he was president minus the ACA Obamacare. That's about it, and that was a disaster. But other than that, for 8 years, market just stabilized, but that's about it. Then the market started soaring after Trump got elected. But that's all Obama and everything. He just magically waited and pushed his button for it to start, of course. But again, I'm not going to jump in that. But you get where I'm coming at. Sometimes you have to go for the logical fallacy of the better of the two. And this was sadly a time I had to, but I don't regret it now. I really don't. Things could be a hell of a lot worse. They really, really could. And then finally, I went off on a tangent and I was going to tell you about my 30-day Facebook ban, and I apologize. That comic I mentioned about the 10 and 20, and then I went off about my cousin, they made it as a transgender comic too, where there was a boy that said, I don't like girls at age 10. Then it shows age 20, he's basically a girl, or a girl, quote unquote, in a pink dress. Then at age 30, it shows his gravestone. And I got banned for 30 days, and they called that hate speech. But statistically, the suicidal rate for transgender people in their 30s has gone up to 41% now. I used to be 37, but now it's gone up to 41%. So it's a sick, dark humor that happens to be an ironic fact. That's what I'm talking about. But I got banned for 30 days for that because Facebook viewed it as hate speech. It's like, you can't even fucking take a dark joke, it's just like the whole Kathy Griffin thing when she made the paper mache of Trump holding the head up and everything. Oh, Barron Trump was crying while he thought that was him. Oh, yeah, right, or things like that. Okay, but was what she did it was what she did though, right? But at the same token, she didn't get banned. She didn't get thrown under the bus. She withdrew her apology even. I mean, you can. I mean, if you're allowed to post paper mache decapitated heads of the president and stay on Facebook or social media, but then you post a joke about a transgender and they throw you off for that, even though it's a true fact. You see what I'm talking about? This is going to be YouTube. This is going to be fucking YouTube. Is basically, oh, you said tranny, bye, you're gone. Oh, you said liberals suck, bye. Oh, you said Trump's a great president, bye. And yeah, I'm exaggerating, but there's the ironic ring to it. Oh, you're a centrist, bye. Oh, you don't like Red and Blue Spider-Man, bye. Oh, you think Batman's the best DC superhero and Superman's an illegal, bye. just anything like that is that's what it's gonna become, essentially. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. It's going to be YouTube's going to be the new NCIS, basically. We're going to go after all these problems. It's just going to be boring bans. We're just going to be seeing boring bans. Oh my God, he recorded a minute over. We got to take him off, and then we're going to, post it up on social media. He went over a minute on his allotted 30-minute recording, and this is an act of terror. Or is recording more than 25 minutes on a YouTube video racist? Look up Google. Is fill in the blank racist? Do that. That's another, aside from the Florida man, that's another video I should do. Put in things like, is air racist? Is anime racist? Is owning a dog racist? I mean, look it up. It's all on there, and there are articles all over the internet. Is fill in the blank racist? This is what our fucking world has come to. You can't have fun anymore. You can't do something just because you enjoy it, because you're a racist if you do. That's today's society. You're a racist if you do anything. Fuck you. You go against our progressive thoughts. Fuck you. You're a racist. And people think it's an exaggeration. It's an irony that's true, because there's so many articles, but then they tell you, like, oh, you're just exaggerating. But why are there so many articles meant to be taken serious about it if it's not true, or if it's an exaggeration? Are you admitting that, like, Vox and BuzzFeed putting this shit out is a joke? Are you finally admitting they're trolling us? If they are, I'll admit I fell for it. I will gladly admit I fell for it. Because it's a good troll. If they're joking the whole fucking time, I'll admit it. That it was a joke. I will admit it. But it more than likely isn't, because these people are so fucking brainwashed stupid that they just feel, like I said, they have to wake up every morning feeling oppressed, more than likely for sadomasochistic sexual gratification. That's what I think out of it, outside of moral superiority. But anyway, before I give myself a heart attack, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much it for that. So, again, all the topics I've covered briefly, plenty of great videos on it. I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents about everything that I saw on there and just crack a few jokes about it. So, if you got anything to say, comment. If you don't like what I have to say, don't come back. So like and subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to, because I'm not making money off of this. But all right, well, it's gaming time. I need to unwind and everything, so I got to get hydrated first, and then we'll do that. Friday or Saturday, I'm probably going to go see Big Trouble in Little China in theaters, because I love that movie to death. My local cinema is showing it. I don't know which day yet, but more than likely we'll get to Secret of Mana Saturday, because Ardith wants to come over Saturday. My friend Boku012, who's on YouTube, he reviews movies. He hasn't been active in 9 months, but he might be joining us eventually. His work schedule's a little iffy, but I told him that he could definitely join us for political discussions. He's a conservative like I am. I think he's actually a Republican, so he's more right-leaning than I am, but he's a geek too. He's into anime, he's into video games, he's into movies. I mean, we love a lot of the same movies, old to new. We crack a lot of jokes and everything. Hell, we might do movie reviews together, we might play some games together, have a few laughs, things like that. So hopefully, if I have him over, if I bring my laptop over, we'll have a grand time together. And I'm really excited about it, because he's a good friend, and we've rekindled a lot together, and I'm very happy about that. So we'll get to gaming soon, and this is Gray Fox 37. Thanks for watching.